now. We the talk around town. Alex threw the ball to Smokey for a touchdown. Ha. It's fourth down and you don't really want no more. We've been winning from the door. You should check the scoreboard. Ha. Check the scoreboard.
How about we get into some award predictions here?
All right, let's do it.
Because we've been doing this sort of traditionally for the past years. I don't think do we ever really get any substantial amount of these right in the past seasons?
I hit with Josh Jacobs. I guess I kind of missed last year. No, actually, I got Chase Young right.
Oh, yeah, we all had Chase Young, yeah.
Yeah.
That was not a hard one.
I'd have to look back. I actually have the book here where they were wrote down, but...
I narrowly missed on Sean McDermott.
Yeah, that's true.
He might as well have won it last year, but then again...
He should have,
also,
actually, yeah.
Stefanski did. But, yeah, the argument was there. Now, I will say that, if you haven't seen our bold predictions, go look at that as well. But I'll say there are some bold ones in this as well. So, it's going to become clear to you that I was writing the bold predictions and the award predictions in the same sitting. Because there is some names on this list you might not necessarily expect. And not necessarily names that I would want to put a lot of money on. But do you want to start off with the MVP, the most valuable player?
Ooh, we're going to start right at the top. Listen, this could also be a bold prediction right here. But I am going for this guy to finally win it. After all these years, he is going to do it finally, and that is Russell Wilson. Let Russ cook. I think Russell Wilson wanted out after the way last season ended up, and Russell and the team were phenomenal when he was allowed to basically carry the team on his back, throw downfield, do what he needed to do to win games. But when they flip the script and go back to this run-first offensive scheme that they were doing, the whole thing went south. The entire season went south. So I think Pete Carroll really has nothing to lose at this point. Russell Wilson wants out. So what does he have to lose? He needs to go out there and show off and gain a new spot next season, or however they're going to do it, or a new contract if he decides to stay even longer. But I think this year Russell Wilson finally gets that MVP spot.
Well, it's a hard time arguing against it just because he hasn't won it yet, and he's probably really going to want that on his resume at some point. It's actually weird how he hasn't, because he's been good for so long. Point against it, the amount of, the type of pass rushing defenses he's going to face in this division is going to be insane. So that might dampen it a little bit, but we know how good he is. We know he can overcome it. So I wouldn't consider a bold prediction. Though I would say the Seahawks are probably, take out quarterback, Seattle's probably the weakest team in that division. So he's going to have to step up a little bit. Speaking of the weakest team in the division with a superstar quarterback, now I have two answers here. I have two predictions. I have the politically correct one, and then I have the fun one. Now, the sensible, politically correct answer is Aaron Rodgers, because he's the best player. He's the best player in the league. He's the best player I've ever seen. First, he's the best quarterback in the league. Quarterbacks win MVPs.
No Aaron chance Rodgers, of repeating.
Good chance of repeating. The Packers are horrible. Aaron Rodgers is the most valuable player definitively by how many wins he adds to his team. No one like him. Not even close. But here's the fun prediction. And I don't want this to be true because it would mean bad things for San Francisco. But my pick's Matthew Stafford. Because Matthew Stafford's about to be unleashed. This is his first season out of Detroit. And he would not be the first person to come out of Detroit and explode and suddenly go nuts. Now, we have not seen a lot of very strong players in Detroit over the past, 30 years. Calvin Johnson comes to mind, and Matthew Stafford. So far, really, for this century, for the most part, his first season with a real team. And I mean, the Rams are good. Last season, the Rams made the playoffs. They won a playoff game. And we were talking about, this Jared Goff is the weak link. And by the way, Jared Goff is not a horrible... He's an average quarterback, but he was the weak link on the team. We talked about if they had an elite quarterback, that's a Super Bowl contending team. And Matthew Stafford's an elite quarterback. He's a first overall pick. And a lot of people may have forgotten about how good he really is. Because he's not quite Aaron Rodgers, and he can't carry a horrible team to a 13-3 record every season. But put him on an above average team, and he's going to turn that into an absolute elite team and a contender. And the Rams are going to win 12 games this season. Matthew Stafford is my dark horse MVP candidate. Of course, Justin Herbert should also go into this conversation more so, but Matthew Stafford, I think, is a name worth mentioning.
You know, it's crazy. I actually considered Matthew Stafford when I was looking through this. I mean, Russell overall just made more sense to me. But that was a consideration because I think everything you said there is absolutely true. I will point out that it seems that no matter where Matthew Stafford goes, he wants a UGA player around him. So he goes down there, and Todd Gurley's gone. So, hey, let's bring in Sony Michel.
Exactly, yeah. No.
But that's neither here nor there. I agree with you. I like that pick.
Could turn out to be the pick of the year if it happens. Though of course I don't wish that to happen because I don't want the Rams to succeed. But I'm gonna start with the next one. So we go one for one. I'm gonna go first with the offensive player of the year. Someone who very well could have snagged it last year, and I believe he's in a good spot to repeat his performance. Is Nick Chubb, the running back for the Cleveland Browns. I think they're a super solid football team, and they run the ball. That's what they do. They run the ball. They're not a passing offense. They very much are centered around the rushing attack. They signed those great offensive linemen on the right side in the previous offseason there, Wyatt Teller and Jack Conklin. Very, very solid unit. They're going to hand the ball off a lot. Because you're gonna limit Baker Mayfield's throws. He can make all the throws. He's not gonna carry a team, but he's gonna manage it perfectly fine. Because he's good, but not a superstar. Nick Chubb is a superstar, and a running back is often sort of gonna be slotted in that offensive player of the year. Because let's be honest, no one's gonna ever win MVP other than the quarterback. Yes. And Nick Chubb might be the guy. Now, there's Christian McCaffrey, Derrick Henry, all good picks, but Nick Chubb is my guy for this season.
Oh, man, I love that pick because he's another Georgia running back. And I do believe if he were in a different situation that wasn't a split backfield, that he has a chance at being the best running back in the NFL. So I totally agree with you there. My pick for Offensive Player of the Year is actually another quarterback, and he is the head of my post-hype sleepers for this season. And it happens to be probably your most hated player at this point in time, Kyler Murray. I think Kyler Murray wins Offensive Player of the Year. And I almost wanted to go with someone who was not a quarterback just to break up the monotony, but I think Kyler Murray is going to be that good this season. I think the Cardinals are going to be that good this season. As much as you hate to hear it, I do think they win that division. And Kyler Murray's going to be the head of that. I think he's going to look similar to Lamar Jackson a couple years ago, similar to Josh Allen last year. I think he wins Offensive Player of the Year this year.
Wow. I mean, a lot of things have to go awry for a quarterback to win Offensive Player of the Year. I will say that.
It does.
We can't sit here and pretend that the committee is completely objective all the time. They're not, right? Quarterback's going to win MVP, we know that. And to make it look better, typically they're going to try to get a non-quarterback to win Offensive Player of the Year. Either running back or if you have like a receiver with an incredible season. That's typically the way they're going. So just by picking a quarterback here, there's some boldness to it. Now, I cannot agree on the Kyler Murray thing, obviously, even if it wasn't for the Offensive Player of the Year. Yeah, I can't agree on the Cardinals winning the division either, but that's of course wishful thinking as well. All the four teams are very strong, and Arizona certainly has all the chances. A phenomenal roster as well. It's going to depend a lot on how their defense works out and improves from last year. Kyler as Offensive Player of the Year. Yeah, I can't comment much on it. Gonna let that sit as it is. Moving on to the defensive side, who do you have as your Defensive Player of the Year?
Well, obviously we don't really agree on the team here being as good as I think they're going to be, but he happens to belong to the Steelers, and that is T.J. Watt. He is going to follow in his brother's footsteps here, and we've seen him develop ever since he came into the NFL. T.J. Watt is phenomenal. There is no reason why he is not poised and set on one of the best defenses in the NFL to win the Defensive Player of the Year this season.
That's a good pick. I think pass rushers generally are in a good spot for it because they are closest to the quarterback.
Absolutely.
On TV, they grab the attention. If he can get around the 12 to 15 sacks, he's gonna be well in that conversation for sure. A lot of pass rushers though. So if you want to go there, there's a lot of guys suddenly in that conversation. But TJ Watt's a good pick. This is my boldest prediction on the list by far. Like not even close. I'm gonna say like a lot of people have never heard of this person. I know you have because you're a football head. A lot of like football fans, NFL players will have never heard of this man. It's Jesse Bates. Plays free safety for the Cincinnati Bengals and learn something new every day. He's the best safety in football, by the way.
He is.
And the Bengals are not very good now, and I don't think they're going to make super headlines or anything. But he's a ball hawk, and he can dominate in the secondary. If he gets his 6 to 8 interceptions, makes plays every week, couple of defensive player of the week awards, he has a legitimate shot. Remember 2 seasons ago, Stephon Gilmore, defensive back, won the defensive player of the year, and that was in a season where both Khalil Mack and Nick Bosa racked up 12 plus sacks and just dominated the league. So he won out against pass rushers. So that's what I'm going with, Jesse Bates. It's definitely the boldest prediction, and
absolutely, yeah, because
he should be more well known. He's not. But maybe this is the season.
Yeah, the chances of a free safety winning it is probably slim, but it is possible. Like you said, a cornerback won it a couple of years ago, so who knows?
Definitely possible. I'm going to go first again, I guess. My turn with the Offensive Rookie of the Year. I hate to be sort of the buzzkill here, but I'm going to make the obvious pick, Trevor Lawrence. He's the quarterback. First of all, we know that those generally are at an advantage, and he's going to start. He's I'd say the only rookie quarterback where we know for sure they're going to start, aside maybe Zach Wilson, I think, is also going to start. Can't really justify anything else for the Jets. But Trevor Lawrence is the only rookie quarterback who absolutely should start because he's the only one who's definitively ready and has no competition whatsoever. Could argue Mac Jones is also ready, but Cam Newton, maybe at his best, is still a bit more preferable if you can get there. But we know that all the other situations, you definitely have controversies, and because like Justin Fields, Trey Lance, they're going to sit, if possible at all. If Andy Dalton just doesn't fall over week 2 and Jimmy Garoppolo's knee stays intact, they shouldn't really have to play, which would be best for them. But Trevor Lawrence, we know he's the best quarterback in Jacksonville. Like he was the day he got drafted.
Yeah, of course.
There's no doubt about that. He's going to start 17 games, in fact. So he has the best chances, and he's going to repeat the Justin Herbert thing.
Mm-hmm. Well, I can't argue with it too much. The team around him is not that great. But as we saw last year with the Chargers, the team doesn't have to be great for the rookie quarterback to win Rookie of the Year. So, yeah, I can't argue with that. That's probably very likely. But as for me, I've got a rule here that if there's an Alabama running back drafted in the first round, he's going to win Offensive Rookie of the Year for that season. So that means that Najee Harris is obviously going to win this award this season. I mean, and typically, if you're going with a running back, it's going to be the first one off the board anyway. And since he's from Alabama, he's going to join good company. There's a lot of them that have done this. So I'm going with the best team in that division and the rookie running back, who's going to get a ton of work. There's no way that he doesn't end up being just one of the workhorses of the NFL right off the bat, which makes me really scared for his sophomore season. Next season, he's probably not going to be that great, but as for this season, he's going to win Offensive Rookie of the Year.
They're going to run the ball. That's for sure. I like the pick actually. He fits the Steelers team, not just like scheme wise, but just mentality wise. 100%. This is probably the most Steelers a draft pick they could have made there in the first round. And yeah, he's going to be the focus of that offense very quickly. He's going to come in day one. Potentially be one of those early season breakout rookies that might end up in one of my videos. So definitely a good pick. Will not complain. I'm going Trevor Lawrence with the safe one, but Najee Harris is a good pick. I'm not disputing that. How about the defensive side? What do you got?
Defensive side. I'm not going to go with a pass rusher.
I will say, this has the highest potential for us to overlap. for us to agree.
Yeah,
I think
probably.
this is quite likely.
Probably so. I am going with Micah Parsons, the Penn
There
State
it is.
linebacker for the Cowboys. And that's who you picked?
That's who I'm picking as well.
Oh, okay. Well, we agree on that. I mean, he's a phenomenal linebacker. He's already the starting linebacker. He beat out Leighton Vander Esch in the preseason, so there's not much chance there. Probably one of the best linebackers to come into the league in quite some time, so definitely got to go with Micah Parsons.
I'll definitely like the pick. It's convincing on Hard Knocks and Dallas Cowboys. A little bit of spotlight, extra spotlight there. Now, I will say, it seems a bit more difficult for linebackers to get the recognition kind of in their first year. You gotta look at Roquan Smith and Tremaine Edmonds, who also came into the league balling out, didn't really get the kind of recognition. I saw some unnerving statistic recently where they compared this last season of Roquan Smith to Fred Warner, and Roquan Smith beat him every category. I mean, every category: tackles, interceptions, pass break, everything. And he wasn't on the top 100 list, and Fred Warner was top 20, best linebacker in the league. And then Bobby Wagner was also like 4 spots behind him as well with worse stats. So. Linebackers maybe takes a couple seasons to build up their reputation because they don't go as noticed typically as either pass rushers with the big sack or the cornerback with a big interception. So maybe a bit of an uphill battle, but Micah Parsons is such a stud at linebacker. He's going to play every game, and I think he's got a good shot. Also, not the most spectacular defensive draft ever. You could have picked one of the two cornerbacks that went early in the first round, but not the same sort of impact as a pass rushing class as the past few seasons. So I'm gonna say Parsons as well. I like the pick for sure. We have 2 more: comeback player of the year and the coach of the year. Go comeback player of the year first, and I gotta be a homer here once again. Now here's the process, of course, for comeback player of the year, right? What do you think? What do you think about first? Is there any notable quarterback? Like, was there any notable quarterback who got hurt last season, didn't play most of the time, who could come back? Nothing that stands out super strongly. And then when that's the case, not too much, I'd say. Maybe Jimmy Garoppolo. What are you thinking about?
Dak Prescott.
Dak, is he going to be comeback player, though? I mean, he does get the cowboy bonus, and I guess he might have the Alex Smith treatment, but I don't think he's going to be the focal point of that offense as much.
Well, he's got plenty of weapons to throw to. Even, we talked about Zeke being in there also. And it is crazy. It seems like I'm picking on a certain rivalry here, but most of my players have come from the Cowboys and the Steelers. That is really weird now that I look at it. But
that is weird. So Dak is okay. Story wise, I will give you that. I think Dak story wise is the best one, like the Alex Smith one, because he was hurt. But player wise, I think impact wise, even though he's a quarterback, I don't think he should win it. I'm gonna go with Nick Bosa, and you can call me a homer, of course, as well. But the rookie season he had, and the development, that like the technical refinement as a pass rusher that he brought in is almost unrivaled for a rookie. And throwing him back on that defensive line, he's gonna go back right back to having double-digit sacks.
he should.
Maybe not as I will say in the court of public opinion, Dak Prescott's probably going to win it.
Yeah,
he's probably going to win it, right? But in terms of impact on the actual team, I'm not necessarily with you there, because I'm assuming Dak is your pick, by the way. I think the Cowboys are going to run the football more than they'll throw it.
Yeah, well, I think so too. That's why I picked. Zeke for our bold predictions. But there's also another one that I had in mind, and is not a quarterback. And I think this is very possible if that team plays out the way I think it's going to play out. But Saquon Barkley could also be in line for comeback player of the year.
That's an interesting idea as well. Yeah, depends though, because you also talked about how the Giants are going to pass so much in that other in the bold prediction segment. You got Daniel Jones and Kenny Galladay.
I expect it to be a prolific offense.
Wow, that's okay. That's something that no one has said about the Giants in 25 years.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah, I know.
I'm looking forward to
Nobody said that about the Bills either.
That is true, and that very much came to fruition when you said it last year. So I guess I got to give you some credit with that. But your official pick is Dak Prescott, I guess.
Yes.
Yeah, it is the safe pick. I'll say that. Like I mentioned, I have a couple bold ones in here. Prescott's the safe pick in the court of public opinion, but in my heart of hearts, I can't go with him. Though I think he'll win. Like, yeah, maybe in my heart of hearts, it should have been Alex Smith last season. Of course, best story by far, and he even made the playoffs, but miraculously. But probably shouldn't have been him in terms of actual impact on his team or on the game, and that will be a similar story with Prescott. But we'll see how it develops. One more left. That's Coach of the Year, and I'm gonna let you go first.
Coach of the Year. Well, if the Titans are as good as we've seen, if not better, and I think adding Julio does make them better overall, this offense is going to be amazing this year. I'm going with Mike Vrabel. I think he came close to. I mean, he's been in the conversation the past 2 years, and I think this may be the season he actually takes it.
Yeah, definitely possible. Now, one thing I'll say is with Coach of the Year, it seems like takes a lot to win it twice, because there's always like the same bunch of people, and then new guys come in every year. They have a good season. If, for example, Mike Vrabel and John Harbaugh had equally good seasons, and they were the two best coaches, Mike Vrabel's going to win it because John Harbaugh already has. So that's generally that's the direction it tends to go. So I'm going to go with someone who hasn't won it either. Actually, I'm going to go with one of my breakout teams. It's going to be Brandon Staley for the LA Chargers, because I strongly believe in that team and Justin Herbert and that offense. I think they're double-digit wins on the horizon, and they are going to seriously contend for their division. If the offense produces like I projected, and we know their defense is good, they can rush the passer. Derwin James coming back, who also, by the way, might be some candidate on this list. But Brandon Staley for me with the Chargers, because I know that this award tends to favor specifically the breakout teams, because it looks like, oh, this guy came in year one, he's turned the team around, right? They go from they had all the talent, couldn't perform, now all of a sudden they have a winning season. He's going to be the one credited with turning the team around, like Kevin Stefanski rightfully was credited with last year and won the award for the Browns. Now, a lot of people are candidates for this. Sean McDermott, Kyle Shanahan, been doing it well for a couple of years, haven't won it yet. But Brandon Staley for the breakout, my top candidate.
Absolutely, I can't argue with that. I've seen Staley's name thrown around a lot, so I'm starting to get on the bandwagon there. Although I don't think that the quarterback's going to be quite as good as you think he is, but I do think that the team should be fairly good. It's going to be hard to win that division, that's for sure. Now, can Staley win this award without winning the division? Because usually we see the winner of this award does win the division, at least.
Yeah, true. I think he can.
Yeah,
I think he can. It's because it's Kansas City, right? Kansas City going 14 games. He's gonna win 12, and he's gonna make the playoffs. He's gonna win the award most likely, unless someone else really goes off, and like somehow Jacksonville ends up making the playoffs, and they want to give it to Urban Meyer.
Oh yeah.
For
oh God,
reason.
That would be horrible. Urban Meyer wins Coach of the Year in his first year. I would. Man.
In the NFL, mind you, like not even in college.
God.
That's a world that many would not want to live in, absolutely.
Exactly.
But it's a possibility, depending on how well the revamped offense there works out. But that's our picks. That's our awards. Hopefully you liked it. Let us know in the comments which are your favorites for some of these. I think MVP, we're probably going to have the same 2 or 3 names thrown around. Maybe mix it up a little bit. Maybe some combine the bold predictions with the award predictions, and give us something to discuss. And I guess we'll throughout the season we'll kind of update this every once in a while, see how stuff develops. We naturally get into those discussions anyway about how Aaron Rodgers is just clearly the best player in the league, and actually he should win MVP now, just before kickoff. That's what they should do, like day 1 kickoff. Green Bay Packers, they should just at halftime just walk him out, give him the MVP trophy, and then tell him, okay, yeah, you go play the rest of your 16 games, and then get crushed in the playoffs by a team that just overwhelms your offensive line.
Yep,
that's pretty much the gist of it. Like if you didn't know, Packers fans, I can tell the future. That's how it's gonna go, most likely. That's our picks. Let us know what you think. And also, it's fantasy season, Smokey. You're the expert on that, so do you want to give a quick, just because we have a couple of minutes, quick outlook on what we can expect for that?
Yeah, definitely, man. I'm going to be doing the hurry-up offense again this season. So basically, I think I'm going to go to about 10 minutes this season because every episode was kind of rushed last season. So I think if I can get closer to 10 minutes this season, it'll probably help, even though I was going overtime last year anyway. So yeah. I think the hurry up.
Calling it the hurry up offense?
Yeah, I'm still going to call it a hurry up offense. It's still going to be a quick little podcast video once a week just to get you ready for the weekend. Come out before Thursday, hopefully every week. And yeah, so beef news and tips once again for this season.
Can't wait. I have not checked fantasy at all so far, so I desperately. I know I have not had the time, but so I'm gonna desperately rely on that show. So hopefully you got some good tips.
I'll take care of you.
Yeah, I need some advice. I have not looked at a board. I don't even know who's good this year. Who do people take? Like, is it McCaffrey, Kamara? Who's going first overall?
McCaffrey is always number one. Well,
PPR. Right?
Yeah, absolutely. Dalvin Cook's number 2, and different platforms switch up number 3. I've seen Alvin Kamara on some platforms, Derrick Henry on some platforms. It was crazy earlier in the offseason. Saquon Barkley was going number 4 overall, and I think he's fallen to like 8th or 9th at this point in time in general ADP.
Yeah, that's rough. So a lot of things I have to learn about fantasy football this season again. Who's the quarterback of your team? What to do with the first overall pick? Can I get away with Frank Gore in the first round? I'm gonna have to watch the offense to figure it out. Because I want to. Because I kind of want to. But we'll be back with the scoreboard next week. We're gonna obviously have predictions again, and spoilers also. I'm gonna win this season's predictions because I'm gonna get more games right. I got 17 weeks, so just one more week to. That I'm probably going to have to hold you off like it was the last couple of weeks.
Well, we can't tie again.
We can't tie again. Yeah.
We have tied ever since we've been doing this show.
That's unbelievable.
Whether it be in bets or predictions. It's been an exact tie. So we can't do that again this season.
If I didn't know any better, I'd say the show is scripted, but it actually isn't.
I know, so
right? We have to have some bloodshed for sure.
WWE 50-50 booking right here.
Yeah. But it's gonna be me winning. This is a grudge match. I'm gonna.
Probably not.
Probably gonna. I'm gonna stand on the rope, point at that WrestleMania sign. I'm gonna win this one.
All right.
17 weeks to go, so it's gonna be a good week. Hype for the season to start. Finally got some real sports back, and we're gonna keep covering that every week. So drop us a like if you enjoyed the show, and if you're a fantasy player, check out the hurry up offense. About the best advice you can get in 5 to I guess now 10 minutes on your weekly fantasy lineup. It's gonna win you a lot of money, maybe if you play for money.
Absolutely.
But I'm not going to because I'm not that good at it. But that's why we have Smokey now. So. Thank you for watching, everyone, and we'll see you in the next one.
Deuces.
Check the scoreboard, ha, check.